So if anyone ever, if you have got a chance to see the book which we had written in 2017, Data Sovereignty, the Pursuit of Supremacy, you would have seen, we mentioned in that one particular part, the first chapter itself is about colonization. And that's my favorite topic. I've been talking about that for the last 2 decades, and I'd like to reiterate that today in front of you. The human beings always wanted to colonize each other. They used stones to colonize each other, then sticks came in, then rods, spears. As we became intelligent, wise, we used more tools, techniques, ammunitions to colonize others. To come up, you would have seen lately people started using cannons, then what you call is the planes, the drones, the lasers and whatnot. Now all the things which you see in the colonization, but this was called as military colonization. Human became civilized. Some of them felt that this is not good. Shedding bloodshed is not good. Blood should not be shedded. And so they were good people, what we thought. My second line is very important. What we thought they were good people. So they started colonizing each other, not by using weapons of mass destruction or weapons which will shed blood, but they started something called as energy colonization. They started dictating. And we have been seeing lately in the last few months, we want to buy oil. Somebody else wants to sell us oil. The oil is economical, good for us. But then there is a gentleman, he thinks that, if we buy that, he is not happy with that. So this particular incident is called as energy colonization, which we have been seeing the last 200 years. So the beautiful thing of not shedding blood becomes colonizing people economically through the energy part. But the last 3 or 4 decades, the worst kind of colonization of this planet has come, and that is called as data colonization, which we have defined in our book. In the data colonization, they don't even dictate terms to you. They make you to do things. And that has been happening. Now, if you see what happens in that particular part, one dictates another things, controls others, not through the boundaries, but through the bytes. So the fight is not for the boundary, that I'll expand my boundary, but the fight is to expand its own bytes. And we have been seeing this particular part. There have been attempts on our sovereignty, and I don't want to shy out, even being the part of the dispensation in some of the other way. And I'm sure Dr. Paneerselvam will agree that we have been subjected to this kind of attacks regularly. A couple of years back, we saw that our critical infrastructure was compromised in Mumbai, the capital, financial capital of this country. The electricity went down just because somebody sat somewhere thousands of kilometers away and attacked our critical infrastructure. Then there was a news that we were attacked, and our one of the best healthcare institution was attacked, and our systems were down in AIIMS. There is no point shying out, trying to tell lie to cover it up. It went down for a couple of minutes, and we had a setback. We lost our face. Recently, we saw attempt by a multinational company to attack us not within the precinct of this country, not within the boundaries of this country, but by attacking our one of the good companies, big companies, company which was helping us to be energy sovereign, trying to import oil from outside, and we saw a multinational company attacking Naira, trying to bring it on the knees. Now, these are all what? These are all act of war against us by using different means. And this time, the use of weapon was not laser or bomb, something like that, but it was data. I represent Center for Knowledge Sovereignty, an organization for the last 15 years, which we have been talking and championing about India's independent sovereignty in the data space, in the cyberspace. We have been mentioning this throughout, that we should have our own system, ecosystem within our country. The data should reside within the political boundaries of the country, within the legal framework of this country, accessible to the people of this country, accessible to the outside world if we permit them, if we charge them. Nobody else should be able to harness our data without our priority in this. Now, this is known to you, so I don't want to elaborate that much in front of you, because all of you can always read this, and it is available in the public domain. I have put my book on the website for free of cost, so you can always read it out. What has been seen in the last couple of decades is that the need of moving from data sovereignty to cyber resilience. Those countries which could not be resilient have fallen. My father used to teach me one poem, which is little relevant to today's topic, and I would like to share with it. ग्रीक होंड सकल वंश टूटते थे भूमि पे, हारते थे हौसले पंच नदी के तीर पर, पता नहीं कहाँ है वे अतीत में समा गए. We had heard about great civilizations like Greece, Horn, Shakals. Where are they? They are not there. If the civilization, the economy, the country, the nation, if it is not resilient, they will perish. They will not exist. And if we want to exist, if the civilization has to exist, we have to protect it. And how can we protect it? We have to be resilient. To resiliency comes from both indigenous efforts to invent our own system, ecosystem, and also to have protection against attacks which will happen. When you are powerful, when you are good, people will always attack you. So my request to this August gathering, I see faces here from whom I would like to learn. Before my speech, I talked to Vijayant, I said, I would like to learn from you. They are all senior people, intelligent people, bright, wise people. I request you humbly, with folded hand, build technology, build systems which will help us not only to replace imports, but add to our exports. They should be world-class, also comparable on the prices. Only then we can become a powerful nation. Paneer Selvanji, you represent a fantastic part, which is the innovation part. I'm sure everybody is here to listen to you. Only way we can survive is to innovate. Our startups should come up. I have a small request and a cry. I can use your shoulder to shed my tears. You know, we have been hampering and dependent on these premier institutes, and I would not like to shy from naming IITs of this country. We have been pumping shareholders' money, tax holders' money from the consolidated funds of India to the tunes of thousands of crore rupees to these institutes. But the last couple of years, rather more than 2 decades, I've been hearing either suicides, some political protest, or finally those good who are there, good people, trying to achieve an H1 visa. We'll have to look beyond these IITs who have not given us good results. If you see the number of patents been filed there. So the amount of money which has been invested by us as a country from the taxpayers' kitty in this few institute and the number of patents which are come out, IPR which have come out, then the cost is very, very high. Very, very high. If I see the number of startups which have come up from there and successfully been operated in this country, the numbers are very high. We talk about 1 or 2 people, you know, 2-4 Amitabh Bachchan बन जाते हैं, लेकिन बाकी के जो लोग struggle करके मर जाते हैं, उनके बारे में हम discuss नहीं करते. We'll have to look beyond these tier 1 institutes. There are sharp institutes. There are students who come from institutes which are not IIT, tier 2, tier 3, very capable people. We should increase our portfolio of investment through the taxpayers' money to these institutes so that innovation come from this tier 2, tier 3 institutes also. We will have to put in some numbers for these directors of IITs and make them answerable for the money being pumped in them. How much patents they have filed. 1. Number 2, whether the patent was ever been tried to be commercialized. The second challenge which I see is they file paper patents. My very good friend over a decade, Dr. Unat Pandit, we were talking about that. Now he is Controller of General. And thanks to him, his efforts, he has cleared thousands of pending papers which are there. So if you see the number of patents been filed in our country has increased after he has become Controller. He has been pushing for it. But how many of them come from IITs? How many of them see the commercial light? How many of them become internationally competent product? That has to be discussed by us. So we'll have to see beyond that particular part. I request all of you to rethink about this. Make a mandate that your company should have some kind of funds. If you can provide for some funds, I'm sure all of you work with your back on the wall so that you can spend money on the research. But if you have to survive as a civilization, as a country, we'll have to pledge today to invest something in strategic thinking. Some innovation, some kind of funds within the country. Finally, I would like to speak to this August gathering. Now you would have seen our neighbor who was weak, not so powerful, could confront us. Operation Sindoor is still continuing as per our defense minister. But we saw one more thing. This weak neighbor, with an ill intention when he attacked us, there were forces who came together with them. And that at the same time, when our uniformed soldier wearing a uniform was fighting on the borders, your own companies, your corporates were also attacked. There were a lot of cyber attacks which were going on the critical infrastructure also in the field. Now we are not facing only a state, we are facing non-state actors, we are facing lone wolves, single wolves, who would attack you because they don't like your country. They may attack you because they would not like your product. They may attack you just because he wants to prove a point. And all of them can be only taken care of by all these companies which have been mentioned here. And I see capable companies. Their products can really help us. But at the same time, we should innovate, invest in a resilient country, resilient technology, something which will take care of future attacks. Before I part from this dais, I like to share that shloka which has been written in my book, Data Sovereignty, which was written by, along with my co-authors, Lieutenant General D.B. Shekatkar, Lieutenant General Khandare, Lieutenant General Bhatia, and also one of the additional secretaries of RAW, Jaydev Ranade. The shlok mentions about Ashwaneva Gajaneva, Siya Neva Chaneva, Ajat Putra Balidata, Devo Durbal Ghataka. Those who may not know this shloka, have you ever heard a horse being altered on the, or a sacrifice on the altar of a god? We don't hear ever that a horse has been sacrificed. The reason is because it is useful. Gajaneva, you would never hear that an elephant has been sacrificed. It's huge, you can't cut its neck. But one of the line of the shloka is Ajat Putra Balidata. What is Ajat? Ajat is Bakra. Bakre ki maa kab tak khair banayegi? You know the secret. When I was reading this shloka, trying to understand there as a young man, General Shekatkar told me the last line is very important. Devo Durbal Ghataka. Even the gods will not forgive you if you are weak. The weak and the meek is always sacrificed even on the altar of the god. Forget about our neighbors, forget about the enemies who are there. So my request to this August gathering is innovate, invest in something which is world class, invest in something which is comparable in the price so that we can export that, invest in something which will not only protect us, but also put us as a pioneer in the world. I would like to thank once again Veloxx and all the organizers who have invited me here. Bharat Mata Ki Jai.